As Christians around the world remember the baby born in a manger 2,000 years ago, we reflect on the shepherds with their sheep nearby, much like the farmers and ranchers of today. On this special edition of Grow, we're looking back at some of our favorite moments of the year, telling the story of Nebraska agriculture, including neighbors coming together to help a young farmer this fall, and celebrating the farm families and young people we've met during the past year. It's time to grow. Welcome to the program. This Christmas weekend, we're looking back at some of our favorite stories of the year. During the 150th anniversary of Nebraska statehood, we've been reminded time and time again how farm and ranch families have made the state what it is and continue to lead us forward. Whether that's sending beef to China and Israel, or popcorn to India, or corn to local ethanol plants to fuel our cars, we want to say thanks and let you know it's truly our honor to tell your story. First, a quick look at some of the week's headlines in agriculture, starting with President Trump delivering tax relief just days before Christmas. Here's a look.
What about for next year?
As corn growers end the year, they look forward to federal tax cuts.
It's going to be positive for ag, mildly positive.
An attorney at Iowa State University's Center for Agricultural Law and Taxation agrees.
It would seem that this would, for the next 8 years, mean lower taxes for most agricultural producers.
Christine Tidgren says most farmers file as individuals.
And individual tax rates across the board have been reduced.
Corn growers say the analysis they've done shows the new tax rates should be beneficial.
With the business incentives that have been put into it, farmers probably will be better off with this set of tax brackets and provisions than what they were previously.
In addition, there's a new 20% deduction for qualified business expenses. And also farmers will be allowed a 100% bonus when it comes to depreciation on equipment. That's double and will cover used equipment, not just new.
That means you can write off the amount of the entire purchase in the year that made the purchase and place that equipment into service.
Many farm groups highlight the change to the estate tax. While it wasn't eliminated, the threshold will rise from around $5 to $11 million. And while the estate tax gets a lot of attention, the expert from Iowa State says only a few farm families ever have to pay. And those that have millions in assets generally can afford the tax. But she says the change should ease some anxiety. On the whole, Christine Tidgren sees moderate gains for agriculture.
Should result in lower tax liability for most farmers for the next 8 years.
Now to the undercover video released by PETA this month, the whistleblower now speaking out. That whistleblower spoke to NTV's Ifeanyi Ibosimba and says he spent 2.5 years working for JBS in Grand Island. He says what he witnessed was more than mistakes, rather a pattern of disregard, and says management would often look the other way to keep lines moving.
They would interfere with the production and making numbers. Numbers are what keep that place going. That's what gives people jobs, and that's what takes them away. If you can't maintain numbers, then you don't have a job there.
Ify has been investigating and took those claims to JBS, who confirmed this video is from their plant. Find the full story on our website. For city kids, an elevator is what you ride on, and feed is what mom does. But city kids got a first-hand view of what Nebraska agriculture is all about. Here's a story from this past spring.
All right, are we ready?
Forget about the chicken and the egg.
Who wants to go see the egg packing room?
We wouldn't have either without folks like Tim and Chelsea Gerard.
Because if we didn't have farmers, then we really wouldn't have anything to eat. Yeah, we really wouldn't have meat or eggs or...
Is this the rest of Miss Noose's class?
The bus unloads city kids for a tour of the farm. Their parents work in Grand Island, some in jobs that wouldn't exist without agriculture.
I think there is a lot that they don't know, and it's nice for them to get out here and see kind of where all of the agriculture pieces start.
On farms like this, where they grow grain,
Corn. What else? Soybeans.
To feed chickens, who lay eggs.
1 egg a day.
These farmers see long-lasting implications if they fail to reach tomorrow's leaders.
If they're not properly educated about what needs to be done to grow our food supply, we could see future regulations that really create restrictions and problems in the way we're growing and raising our food.
The Nebraska Farm Bureau Foundation coordinates the Pen Pal program. Many connect by email, and some, like the Gerards, invite kids to the farm.
This is the first year, and I think it's going so well, we'll try to do it every year.
And of the 60 kids visiting, only about 10 have been to a farm before. They're surprised, especially by the size of the machinery.
It's not quite like your car, is it?
That much high off the ground.
They see the things farmers don't pay much attention to.
Yeah, there is a few bugs. Yep, that's the farm.
And crack a few eggs along the way.
It's just a farm, that's the way it is.
But these farmers hope kids also see the great care that goes into their breakfast.
Know what farming in Nebraska is all about.
Nebraska farm and ranch families sharing a legacy of stewardship. NTV's Ifi Sinachi Ibo Simba has a look at one of the great farm families we highlighted this year.
Hogs, calves, and acres of land primed for soybean and corn.
We are a diversified family farm.
Today, the Beatties continue to work land that's been in their family for more than a century.
It's never a dull moment.
Every day is a different challenge.
Bart Beattie got his start when he was just a kid, working alongside his dad and grandfather.
I'm the 5th generation on our family farm.
He says this work is about more than just providing for his family.
I'd say it's truly part of our destiny.
And a responsibility Shayna Beattie says she and her husband do not take lightly.
We're part of that effort to feed the world and provide quality beef and pork for the state of Nebraska and for our country. And we try to help our kids understand how important that is.
As this couple raises the 6th generation of Beattie farmers.
You know, we've got 4 kids, 2 girls, 2 boys. They each have a unique passion, I believe, for agriculture.
What we're doing is like feeding America, and being part of that is just a wonderful experience.
They say they'll continue to pass down the values and tradition this farm was built on.
The hard work and the challenges are worth it every day.
So this family business,
I hope that we can continue to raise many generations to come.
Will continue to live on.
My parents, just seeing them like working at what they love every day, like they both have a passion for agriculture and they love what they do, and I just want to follow in their footsteps and do that too.
Now to the state fair, where everyone was on their feet. The judge eyeing the best of the best, the top cattle in a state that prides itself on its beef. And with a pat on the rump, Mackenzie Beattie, whom you saw a moment ago, her steer selected grand champion.
Honestly, I don't even know if it's hit me yet, but I can tell you that this is the best day of my life right now. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. It's quite a big deal, and I don't even know, like I said, it hasn't even hit me yet. Like, wow. That's all I can say right now.
Always one of our favorite moments of the year. The weather provided challenges during 2017, from drought conditions to devastating windstorms. Regina Bird has a look at the year in weather up next. Later, we remember our trip to the Loup County World's Fair.